Hello YouTube, today I'm going to give you guys some tips that I know that could maybe help you rank up. A lot of you guys have been struggling in the rank system, so I'm just going to show you guys how I got to Radiant and how you guys can too. At the end of the day, this game requires you to play it a lot. In my last two videos, you guys wanted me to teach you guys how to peak properly and how you guys are able to get an advantage from peaking rather than just constantly getting slammed every time you peak. So I'm going to teach you guys some of the things I know, and hopefully it will help you guys in the long run. So the first thing I'm going to go over is how to peak properly. First, I'm going to show you guys how not to peak, and then I'm going to show you guys the proper way to peak. I see a lot of people not knowing how to peak properly in this game, and it's leading to you guys dying a lot. Especially if you're new to Valorant, this is going to be a little bit weird, but it is a good habit to get into. So first, I'm going to show you guys how not to peak. Pretend they're B main, and I want to peek out CT. How normal people would peek this is either they would wide swing fully like this, or if the enemy didn't know you were here and you were trying to be a little bit more sneaky, this is how most people would peek. And this is the incorrect way on how to peek in this game. Because one, when you peek like this, they have so much opportunity to see your hand, to see your gun, to see your feet before you even see them. Plus, it's just easier to react to you. I wish I had another guy here to show you guys, but you guys are just gonna have to trust me. When you slow walk like this, it is so slow and they can easily react to you, especially if they're holding an angle like this. You're going to die 9 times out of 10. Now, the correct way, if you were to peek, let's say B main or lane or logs. Now the correct way of peeking is you want to clear your angles one by one. You do have to have some sort of map knowledge. Now of course if you had a team you would want to peek with utility, you could peek with a flash, call for smokes, B main. But for example, most people are not going to have that on console. So if you want to still be silent and also be quick at the same time, this is going to be the correct way of peeking. Now, what I'm doing here is clearing my angles one by one rather than just slow walking all the angles at once. And what this is going to do on their POV is they're going to see you as soon as you see them, and you're going to be prepared for them when they're most likely not going to be ready for you. And what this does is you can still peek pretty fast while not making a single sound. So for example, if I want to clear this angle or clear someone on B site and somebody already called B site, what I would do is either one, you could jump spot them too. That's a whole nother thing. But you could jump spot this if they already know you're here. Or you can just clear your angles one by one. So what I would do if I was to peek B main, first I would clear this angle. Maybe someone holding me from B site. I would just peek like this normally. Then I would work into another angle, which someone could be back site as well, just looking at me. Rather than just peeking like this, what normally people would do, I just think it's very messy when people peek like this. And you want to be ready when you peek something. So you want to be ready to shoot, ready, preparing for somebody to be there. For example, if somebody was back beside, I would peek like this. Now, you are kind of exposing yourself to a little bit more angles, but not every single peek is going to be perfect. So for example, I would just peek like this. You could peek even this angle. You could keep going like this, peeking every single angle. And this is just a good way to clear angles. For example, if someone could be holding this, somebody could be holding this, somebody could be holding this. And while I was clearing the whole site, I have not made a single sound. So if, let's say they were playing backside, I'm still clearing every single angle without making a single sound. And then if there were somebody here, you could easily just kill them. You really just want to perfect peeking this game, because I promise you guys it will lead you guys to a lot more match MVPs, and it'll just make your gameplay a little bit more smoother. So let's say I want to clear A site, right? And I'm retaking it from heaven. What I would do first, I would see if we have tree control, if the door is open. Usually you will have teammates here, but let's say we have tree control already. Let's say we have the door open and I want to just clear this from heaven. What I would do is just clear all my angles like this. What I would do is slowly walk up here. A site's a little bit more difficult because there's a lot of angles they could be in. They could be up on top of this box. They could be up on top of that. They could be holding a head glitch right here. They could be under hell. They could be on gen. They could literally be anywhere. They could be playing A main. So there's a lot of angles to clear. Normally you would want to have a teammate flash for you, smoke something like maybe A main, Or even if you're playing a flash character, you could flash for yourself. But let's just say you're by yourself solo queuing and you don't really have any teammates to come with. The best way to retake a site is just to clear your angles. There's also a lot of types of peeks you can do. You can jiggle an angle just to get info. You can jump spot an angle, also that also works. But yeah, from what I taught you guys at the beginning of the video, you guys still want to just clear all your angles like this. You can jiggle peek, make sure no one's holding you. When it comes to A main, make sure you clear the angles one by one and not just wide swinging it like this. Wide swinging it like this is kind of bad because one, there could be two people holding you and you would just instantly die. You want to be able to isolate your ones. So for example, if I was to clear A main, I would maybe even jiggle it, get some info first. Or depending on the situation, I would just peek them one by one like this. Granted, make sure you guys clear all of this. Make sure you don't get peeked over here. But yeah, you just want to really just clear all of your angles. A guy could be here. Guy could be holding this angle right here. This is a popular angle. What I like to do is kind of walk up to here, making sure I clear all the angles before I even start clearing hell. So for example, there could be a guy over here as well. Then when I know all of A site is pretty much clear, this is when I start challenging hell. So what I would do to clear hell is I would just drop from this box to this box and just clear my angles just like this. Being prepared that they could be anywhere holding an angle down on the bottom of hell. So I would just completely clear all my angles. They could be tucked here, so you guys always got to be prepared that, you know, somebody could be ratting here. But for the most part, you guys just want to be ready to get swung at any time and just take your gunfights accordingly. Now I want to show you guys how to properly hold a site depending on what role you are. So let's, for example, say I'm holding B site. You can take two approaches to this. One, you can jump spot this angle. You can hold a pixel peek here for info. Now, holding this angle could be bad because you could completely get fried here. Because if the enemy knows what they're doing, they will clear this angle properly. So you want to be really careful on how you hold angles. You could just play info like this, but normally you are going to have a Sova or Fade or Cypher play on B site. Now, I'm not really a Cypher player, but I do know some things about Cypher. As a Sentinel, you do want to be able to hold down a site and stay alive as long as possible. Because if they do hit your site pretty quick, you want to be able to slow them down. Now, whether that be with util or just being able to shoot their flashes, kill one of them and get out. But holding a site really just comes down to you surviving. Because if you guys have ever played ranked, you always have that one teammate that thinks they're him and they peek into 5 people, just dying instantly, giving them complete site control. You do not want to be that person. Now, no matter how good you are, unless you're like Reyna, where you could get one and get out, or Chamber or Jet, one of those characters, you don't really want to take those aggressive angles and you want to play a little bit more back and let your util do the work. Now, I don't really have a Cypher setup that I can show you guys because I don't really play Cypher here, but this is just an example. Let's say they hit my site, right? Normally I would have a cam up here. This is a very good cam you can do in buy phase to get early info. Now let's say they hit my site. What I would do is of course have my trips. I would place them, you know, somewhere along these lines. Now, I'm not a Cypher player, so do not make fun of my trips. But these are decent trips. One, to stop the Jet from just completely dashing to site or anybody trying to scale on boathouse to close the door. But I would normally play somewhere back site here or even on the stairs over there and just try to stay alive as long as possible. Staying alive in this game is really, really strong. And you want to make up your mind whether or not you're going to be playing in site, just playing basically for your life, or playing retake with your team. So normally I would play maybe around here. This is a pretty decent spot. Wait for my trips to hit. Wait for one of my trips to hit and just shoot them through the wall or wide swing this and peek 1 or 2 of them off guard. And then go back and play another anchor position, which is going to maybe lead into another kill or 2. And the main goal when you hold a site down is just mainly survive. I promise you guys will win more rounds surviving, playing off of util rather than just peeking 5 of them at once. You always want to have the upper hand when you're on defense by playing in ratty corners or just catching your opponents off guard. Now, let's say I'm a duelist on the attacker side and you guys want to be able to entry. This is going to be for my duelists out there that really don't know how to properly play a duelist role. A lot of duelists' problems are going to be just confidence. A duelist's role is for you to essentially die for your team. Now, it's kind of weird to say that your job is to die as a duelist, but what you're essentially going to do is you want to be the first one out. So you want to be taking these first duels. You want to be the entry of your team. And if you, let's say you die in sight while doing your job and your team now has a site control, you did your job. Even if you didn't get a kill and you went in sight as a duelist, you did your job as long as your team can trade you and get site control. Now let's say you're playing Jet on Ascent. This is gonna work if you're Neon, if you're Raze, if you're Yoru. Any duelist really is going to have the same principle, just with different utility. Let's say the round just started and your team wants to do a fast A hit. Let's assume that they don't have Cypher here, because Cypher right now is kind of broken, but you just want to be quick. So what I would do, so as you can see, what I just did there is made space for my team. Now doing that, I'm most likely going to die in that position, but even if I get a kill or two, that is even going to be better for your team. But a job as a duelist is you kind of just want to make space. And if you guys saw what I did there when I did do that little like entry thing, when you dash, you can clear your angles right to left. Now on console, it is kind of hard if you're playing on a slower sensitivity, because on PC, I was able to clear left and right and still be able to, you know, go into my smoke. But on console, I can only really pick one angle. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an example. I'm going to be able to pop my dash, throw my smoke, and clear this angle while in the middle of my dash. So as you can see, I was able to clear the right corner, and this is just going to be really good for info. Now let's say, for example, there was a guy up on top of this box or behind this or even in this corner. I can pop my dash, throw my smoke, see somebody there, and then take my gunfight accordingly. And you could even wait in the smoke a little bit longer, waiting for your team to scale in, because now they're going to also be able to see them on the minimap. So now this guy is going to have to decide whether or not to look at you while you're waiting in the smoke or have one of your teammates swing you. So he's kind of looking at two different angles, right? Now, of course, there's not only going to be one person here. There could be a guy playing Gen. There could be a guy playing here. But remember, the smoke is still up. So if the guy playing here can't really help him till the smoke is gone. And most of the time, you're going to have a Sova dart here. You're going to have, you know, Gecko flashes. You're going to have Reyna flashes. You're going to have a lot of util. So this guy is going to have to deal with some util as long as your team is kind of smart. But yeah, you can isolate the one by just dashing in here, getting info, and then shooting this guy. And let's say you get traded by the guy playing here after he shot the Gecko flash or Reyna flash or whatever he shot. Let's say you get traded here. There's going to be like 3 or 4 more people looking at this guy wide swinging you like this, or vice versa if he peeks like this. Same with behind Gen. The guy peeking here or guy peeking here is also going to get traded instantly by your team. So not only when you dash into the smoke, you got this pick, you also got traded by this guy, which your team was able to trade you. So by entering into site, you got the 2 people off of site. Your team now has site control and is able to plant and play post plant. As a duelist, you just want to be able to sacrifice your life almost. Kind of want to get it in your head that as a duelist's job, you want to be able to like die. Duelist's jobs are basically just to die. You did your job if your team got site control. So same thing goes over here. It doesn't matter who you're playing really. You can play Neon, you can play Raze, you can play Yoru even. Any duelist, you want to be first out. So let's say we're going fast B. I would clear this angle first. Make sure nobody is playing over here. Go super quick here. Make sure no one's playing back here. What I would do is I would pop my dash, throw my smoke in the middle of the site, dash into it, clear logs while dashing. The same concept on over on A site. You could even look left. You guys kind of have to pick your poison, because on console it's really hard to look at both angles, just because unless you're running like a super fast sense. I'm only able to clear one angle, which is kind of unlucky, but the same principle. You want to dash in the smoke, clear your angle, make sure no one's here. And if there is somebody here, shoot them, maybe get traded. Same concept. Your team's already out. You made space for your team and you did your job, basically. Whatever character you like playing, practice clearing your angles. Whether it be in a custom game or an unrated or swift play, if you're new to the game, practice clearing angles, because this is going to help you guys in the long run. So kind of like what I was teaching guys when you guys were retaking B site, I'm going to show you guys the same thing as an attacker, clearing your angles when you want to attack B site. Clear logs like this, clear market, make sure no one's holding this angle right here, because there could be like a guy head glitching this. Clear right side of spawn, clear left side of spawn, clear the stair angle over here, Make sure no one's in boathouse. Once you cleared all those angles, you could clear lane. Make sure no one's holding you from here. You can easily walk out of sight if they have no util. You just want to make sure to clear your angles properly. And that's kind of how you want to clear your angles on B site. Same thing goes for lane. If you're entering lane, once you already got all that control and you're still alive, you want to be able to clear all the angles. You want to make sure no one's playing backside on either of the doors. Make sure no one's holding this head glitch that they could have over here. Same with over here. They could be holding this angle. Kind of just clear your angles. Somebody could be playing back here. Somebody could even be crouched over here. They could be over here. And that's about it for attacking a site, holding down a site, clearing your angles and how you're supposed to clear them and the wrong way of clearing them. I could literally make a 2-hour video about playing all the roles, how to play Sentinel, how to play controller, what your job is. I kind of wanted to teach you guys how to properly peek angles. I could maybe down the line make a 30-minute video about how to play all the roles properly. And since I play Duelist a lot, I kind of wanted you guys to learn how to play Duelist properly and what your job is as a Duelist. But if I missed anything, make sure to let me know down in the comments. If you got this far into the video, comment pineapple. I will be liking all of the comments. We maybe hit 300 likes this video as well. This is going to take me a while to edit. I know you guys really wanted me to make a video about movement, so it would be much appreciated. I also stream on Twitch every single day, twitch.tv/LonelyAlex. It would mean the world to me if you guys went to go, you know, watch me over there. But other than that, yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you guys. Subscribe if you guys haven't already. I will see you guys in the next video. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. Peace.